Hello, welcome back to another reading vlog. Yay! Long time no see. I feel like I always say that in the beginning of these now. But I was on holiday a lot, then I was really ill, then I was just working a lot. It's been a whole thing, but I'm excited about reading again. I've had a little bit of a, not even a reading slump, I've just not really kind of made the time to read much, but that's over and done now. We're back to reading. So I'm currently reading, finally, Into the Wild by Jon Krakauer. I've had this, honestly, for a long time. I've been interested in this book for a long time as well. I'm finally reading it. I'm only I'm on page 87, but it's only, I think, a 200-page book, like 215. I, for some reason, was under the impression, I thought it was about Jon Krakauer himself, and I thought he was doing this kind of massive hike and he was going to Alaska. I should have just read this, like it's right on the cover, I should have just read this, but I didn't. What it's actually about is a guy called Christopher McCandless, and he's the person that this book is about. He died in Alaska in this bus that's on the cover. That's not a spoiler, it literally says it here. And this is sort of a bit of his backstory in life, how he kind of came to do this trip, why he wanted to go on this trip. He hikes kind of all over America, but his end goal is going to Alaska. And I've just reached the time in the book where he actually goes to Alaska. So Jon Krakauer, the author himself, he investigates kind of, or he writes about Chris's journey, about the people that he meets along the way. He interviews the people, and he kind of, digs into like his personal life, his life before he went on that hiking trip. And unfortunately he ended up dying in Alaska. I think his cause of death, they said, was starvation, and he just underestimated Alaska and the wilderness. And it's actually, I'm not loving it as much as I thought I would. I'm very interested in Alaska in general, but still for some reason I'm not loving this as much as I thought I would, but I'm still going to finish, obviously. I'm also on audio reading The House at the Bottom of the Lake by John Malerman? No. It's Josh Malerman, actually. I'm reading that. I'm actually enjoying it. I think it's a novella. It's only 4 hours long, so I'm really enjoying it, actually. It's about these two teenagers that go on a first date, and they go on this boat trip, and they discover a house at the bottom of the lake. It's a horror novella. I'm about 50% into it, so I'm probably going to finish that today. I'm about to go into town, so I think I'm just going to listen to it on the way there and back. And also, I'm actually listening to 2 audiobooks at the moment. I don't know why, I don't usually do that. But I'm also listening to Local Woman Missing by, I think, Mary Kubica. And that one's about a little girl that got kidnapped, and she ends up escaping her kidnapper's house. There's kind of a few storylines that kind of intertwine, and there's a few women that actually go missing. So the question kind of is if they're all intertwined or not. I know that Kayla from Books and Lala, who is like my favourite ever booktube person, I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, she really enjoyed this book, but also could be wrong and be thinking about another person. I have no idea. So great books all around. And I'm also going to, I think later tonight, talk about some books that I recently read. There were some hits and some misses, as always, but we'll do that later. Now I'm going to town. And goodbye. I am back home, as you can see, obviously. I'm in bed, it's 6 o'clock, my blind's down, got a hot water bottle, in bed fully, like for the night. But I wanted to talk about some books that I read and some of them enjoyed recently. So let's actually remove my water bottle. First of all, this is no particular order, not the order that I read them in probably, but we move. My Policeman. Do I need to say much more? No. I read this initially because Harry Styles is in the movie. Anyone that knows me knows I love Harry with my whole chest, my whole body really. That's why I picked this up, because I wanted to read it before the movie came out. I really actually enjoyed the book, more so than I even thought I would. The movie was fine. Yeah, but book, good, would recommend. Then I was very, very, very excited about this. This was like highly anticipated for me, probably my most anticipated book of the year. We Spread by Iain Reid. I love I'm Thinking of Ending Things by him. That is probably one of my favourite books ever. I really like Faux as well. I think this has been marketed as horror, which I think is kind of doing it a disservice. I kind of see why they did that in a way, but I think people might go into it with a very different, or with different expectations, and might end up disappointed, which is so sad because this book is great. I just wouldn't classify it as horror, maybe. I'm not actually sure what genre, other than general fiction, I would put this in, but maybe I should tell you what it's about. I didn't tell you what My Policeman is about, but I feel like everyone knows that already. So We Spread is about Penny, who I think she's about 60-ish years old. Her life partner died recently-ish, and she's kind of struggling to just be home by herself. So she moves, or kind of gets moved into this like an assisted living kind of facility, and strange things happen. She's not really sure whether she can trust herself. I don't know how much to say. If you don't want to know anything, maybe skip like 30 seconds, but I don't think this is really a spoiler. But this kind of deals with the horrors that are dementia and Alzheimer's. I think that's kind of what Iain Reid was getting at. And for that reason, I do understand why it's marketed as a horror book, because what's more horrific than not being able to trust your own mind and your own thoughts? It's great. The way that it's written is, a lot of it is in fragments and very short chapters, which creates this distance between you and the story and Penny and kind of her own thoughts. It's very clever, I think, the way that it's written. I think a lot of people are going to be unsatisfied with the ending. I was kind of a bit, not unsatisfied, because I do understand, but sometimes you just want everything to be neatly wrapped up in a bow, and it definitely wasn't that, but good book. I really enjoyed this. Then I also read Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke and Other Misfortunes by larocca. I've been super excited to pick this up. I wanted to read the initial short story. If you don't know, the initial short story I think it's like out of print, and it's being reprinted, reissued as a actual like book with, I think it's three short stories in this. I really enjoyed the actual, like the title story. I'm thinking of Ending Things. No, Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke. I really enjoyed that. I kind of knew to expect gross things, and there were definitely gross things in this. If you're not good with like gross horror, like body horror or disturbing things, maybe this isn't for you. There's also 2 other stories. They were fine. I never thought about them again since putting this book down, since I finished. But I love Eric Larocca's writing style so much. I think he's such a gifted, like specifically horror writer. Obviously that's the genre that I think he exclusively writes in at the moment. I don't know. He's so unique and original, and I really love like his writing voice. He's great. I can't wait to pick up more things. I've just put what's the other one? You've Lost a Lot of Blood, I think it's called. I just put that on my Christmas wish list, Christmas/birthday wish list. So yeah, very excited. And then last but not least, well, maybe actually least, Everything I Need I Get From You by Kaitlyn Tiffany. How Fangirls Created the Internet as We Know It. I've got beef with this book. I picked this up firstly because I heard so many good things about it, and secondly because I knew that she was talking about One Direction in this. Again, if you know me, I was a One Direction fan from day one. Never really left that phase, hence why I'm still so into Harry. What I was intrigued by mostly is this subtitle, How Fangirls Created the Internet as We Know It. That's not what this book is about at all. It literally, it's just a book. I'm not exaggerating. This is a book about One Direction and her experience being a One Direction fan. There's some kind of chapters or tangents that she goes on that maybe justify her putting that on the cover, but that's not what this book is about. Like, trust. I made this whole list on my phone when I was reading this because I just got upset. I was so excited for this book because I thought I could really relate to it. And even though everything that she was talking about from like 2014 in the One Direction fandom, even though I experienced all of that, I was just like, we don't need to write a book about this, do we? Like, do we? I just wish she dove into other fandoms. She kind of like dipped her toe in a little bit, but not nearly enough. I feel like, especially with like the BTS fandom or K-pop in general, I don't know anything, like nothing about it, but I know that it's huge, so maybe she could have like researched that, or people going to Comic-Con, or like even like there's like a whole massive fandom for like furries or anything, like literally anything else. I feel like she could have maybe explored why people like are in fandoms, why they like being in fandoms, like the joy of feeling connected to something that other people also feel connected to. I don't know, I just feel like there was so much room for like other things that she just never explored. Also, the way that she writes it, it's weird, because the whole time she's like, I'm one of you, like, I went to all these One Direction concerts, like, I was a Niall girl, like, I was there with you, I was in the trenches. But then, like, the tone she chose to write it in was kind of like, oh my god, did you hear what that fan did? That's shocking. Like, that's so over the top. She's obsessed. But then she's like, it's fine, I'm one of you. Okay. And there was like this weird feeling of her being like, oh, I'm like in this, but also her writing it like from an outsider's point of view, like, I'm not that deep, like, trust me, I can write about this. But there was one thing, I dogged one singular page in this book. That's the only thing I liked about it. Wait, let me find it. Here, this is the passage that I really liked. It made me a bit emotional even. She says, there are so few things I love to do more than coughing up money for cheap hotels, sleeping there alone and waking up in the morning with a sight to see. A boy in pearls and high-waisted pants, for example, plus 15,000 people who have grounded themselves the same way I have, using someone else's gestures and vocal tics to mark time, to help them remember, and to return them over and over to the question of who they are. That's the reason I gave this 2 stars, not 1. Also, another thing that made me angry is that she called the song Woman by Harry Styles horrible 2 times. That's a banger, girl. Sorry. This is what I've been up to recently. Also, I finished House at the Bottom of the Lake, or The House at the Bottom of the Lake. I'm not sure what it's called. Today. I knew it was going to be a novella. I knew it wasn't going to be an actual, like, novel, like the length of a novel. But when that audiobook ended, I was in H&M Home, like, on my phone, like, did I accidentally skip something? I know that I've seen a lot of people say the ending is very ambiguous, very kind of unsatisfying, but I was just like, what? Like this? This is the end. This is the last sentence that you chose to put down. Okay. Saying that, it wasn't actually bad. Like, I really enjoyed the story. I don't know who decided to mark it as horror, though. I don't think that was the right choice, maybe, but to each their own, you know. That was quite the book update, wasn't it? I'm gonna take off my makeup, do my skincare, and then read... Where is it? I'm gonna read Into the Wild, and I'm actually gonna do my skincare, and I'll probably see you tomorrow. Ba ba da ba ba. If everything looks like it's a mess behind me, that's because it is. I am in DIY mode. I don't know what my hair's doing. I am painting my kitchen. I'm so sick and tired of this pink. I don't know what I was really thinking when I decided to paint my kitchen pink. I had a vision that never really came to life. I've had this for about a year and a half, but I think deep down I'm a neutral coloured bitch. So that's what I'm doing today. I just taped everything like all around the doors and all around the tiles and everything. And as you can see, I took everything that was in my kitchen into the living room. I just had to move my fridge as well because usually it's in this little corner bit next to the radiator, but obviously I have to paint here as well, so I just took the fridge out. Now that's just in the middle of the kitchen, which is nice. I can't for the life of me move my washing machine, so I'm gonna have to kind of try and paint around it. I've got a ladder which my parents very kindly lent me, so that's what I'm up to today. This is my painting station. I've got one of those little trays as well where I need to pour the paint in. That's my day today. I've got my painting t-shirt on. I need to find some leggings, like pajama bottoms, to put on, because currently I've got on jeans that I don't necessarily want to get paint on them. I don't think there's anything that I don't mind getting dirty. Ooh. Let's see, everything's literally a mess. I've got washing hanging up everywhere because it's so cold. Usually I hang up my washing upstairs in the attic. Usually I hang up my washing in the attic. There's like a drying room there, but because it's so cold, nothing really dries up there. I've got like pajama shorts that I don't mind like getting a bit ruined. I think I'm just gonna do that. Oh, that's the top. These are the shorts. This drawer's also a mess, but I've got no storage in this flat, so let's go. Let's paint the kitchen. Later, as you can see, it's dark outside. For some reason this took me 3.5 hours. I don't even know why, what for. My kitchen is tiny. I don't know why it took me such a long time, but it did, and I'm finally finished. I was on my hands and knees at times. I'm definitely not a DIY girly, but we moved. It's actually quite nice. I really like the colour. It's coming across very beige. It's more taupey in real life. That is my task for the day done. Well, I say done. I've still got all of this stuff I need to tidy up, and to tidy up my whole kitchen I need to hoover everywhere, put away the painting stuff. Actually, there's no point putting away the painting stuff if I'm gonna wait until tomorrow to check if it needs a second coat. Big brain. Good morning. I feel as tired as I look. I slept bad last night. I don't even know why, for no reason. But the kitchen's looking great, which is the main thing. I'm excited to take off all of the tape later, like all of this stuff here. Hope it's going to be satisfying. I think you can see the colour a bit better now. It looks a bit dark on camera, but I think you can get more of a vibe for what the colour actually looks like. So yeah, very happy with my decision. I'm going to make a coffee. I don't think I've even shown you my coffee machine. Well, technically it's an espresso machine, obviously. This is my baby. It's a Sage, or Breville, wherever you live, Barista Express. I love it. It's my favourite thing I ever bought. Definitely worth the money for me. I'm going to make a coffee with it. I've got all my syrups, got all my Chamberlain coffees. My favourite thing to do each morning is deciding which coffee syrup to use, like what kind of, I'm very backlit, sorry, what kind of coffee I want to make. I went on TikTok this morning when I was lying in bed, and I saw someone make this, I've seen loads of people do it, it's not like it's a new thing. I've seen this girl do a Biscoff latte, and I've got this syrup. I've got no idea how you would pronounce that, but I know how to pronounce it in German. I don't know how to pronounce it in English. It's very similar to Biscoff though. I think it's a bit more like winter spicy. I've got that and I've got Biscoff spread. Now I want to see if this is, you know, there's like the crunchy type and the smooth one. I feel like this would only work with a smooth one, but it looks like it's smooth, so that's great. Basically, my life goal is to recreate my Starbucks drinks, so I don't go to Starbucks anymore, which I don't, to be honest, since I've bought this machine. I think I've only been like 2 times, and I've had this for like 6 weeks, so that's good in my books. Anyway, let's make a coffee. I'm just doing my makeup, as you can see, and I thought I'd take this time to do a little book update because I actually finished a book, a single one, and I started another one, and obviously I'm still reading Into the Wild. So I finished, might have put a bit much on. I finished A Local Woman Missing by Mary Kubica yesterday. I watched it. I listened to it on audio, and I had so much time yesterday when I was painting my kitchen. I was just listening to it the whole time. So I finished that pretty quickly, actually. And I really enjoyed it. I never read a Mary Kubica, but I think she's quite the established thriller author. Yeah, I didn't see the kind of, I don't know if plot twist is the right word, but I didn't see the ending coming. I think I said before that with thrillers, I'm not one of those people that kind of wants to be like an armchair detective and figure out their own kind of theory or like try and figure out the mystery by themselves. I like to be surprised when I read a thriller, so I just kind of don't think too much about it. I just enjoy it and like enjoy the entertainment. And this was great for that. I really, really enjoyed it. So actually, this is a bit random as well. I've not, for the whole year really, rated any books on Goodreads. And then I was talking to my cousin the other day about the Goodreads stats that you get at the end of the year. And I was like, oh, I actually really want them. So I went back and rated all of my books that I read this year, which actually was quite interesting because I feel like maybe if I rated them right off the bat when I finished them, maybe I would have rated them differently, mostly higher. But yeah, this was a 4-star for me. So that was very successful. Into the Wild, I thought was one of those books that I'm going to read and know I'm going to love because I'm so interested in Alaska. And I just thought, oh, this story about this man like traveling by himself, living off the wilderness, like obviously I would love that. And I do, but I think I wasn't prepared for... Well, first of all, as I said, I thought it was about Jon Krakauer himself. I don't know why. Yeah, that was kind of not disappointing. It was just different than what I thought it was. It is definitely interesting. It's just a bit dry. I just thought it might be a bit different. I think, again, like I said earlier, it's me problem, not a book problem. You learn a lot about Chris McCandless and kind of the decisions he made and how he ended up dying in Alaska. You also get some of Jon Krakauer's, the author, the journalist, his point of view. He goes back to the bus that Chris McCandless ended up dying in. And I think he sees quite a lot of similarities in him and Chris, and he's also done kind of a similar journey in Alaska, like a hike, and I think he kind of realised how easy and quickly you can die out there in the wilderness if you're not prepared, which I'm guessing a lot of people aren't. It is impactful, just maybe not what I thought it would be. I'm going to finish doing my makeup and then I've got a very long to-do list today, which I'm not looking forward to, but actually I am. I like ticking off my to-do list. That's what my day will consist of. Then I've got a friend coming over later and we're watching a horror movie, so that will be nice. I'm looking forward to that actually. I'll talk to you probably later on tonight when I finished Into the Wild. Hello, it's a bit later on. I have had such a productive day. It's been great. I've done my nails. I've done like a gel manicure. That was fun. Then I also... Wait, let me show you the most exciting thing actually is here. Light clothing stains quite quickly with sunscreen. Like it makes it like a bit yellowy. So a lot of my like white t-shirts or grey t-shirts and jumpers, they've all got like a yellow like stained neck, which is not cute, obviously. It just looks dirty. But I don't want to not wear sunscreen. That's like my highest priority in life. So this jumper, it's a Jeff Avenue jumper, so it was quite expensive, but I love this jumper. It's my favourite jumper ever. It was really like, it didn't look great and it wasn't cute. And I tried all these things, like I bought all these like sprays and like potions and things. I tried everything, like nothing made it come out. But I saw online that you just need to soak it in vinegar and water for an hour. There's no stains, nothing. I'm so happy. I feel so accomplished. And I feel like I fully arrived at my adulthood stage. Like I'm there, it's fine, we're all good. So that was a great success today. Oh, I finished my kitchen. I put up with my prints again. Put Harry up because I feel like it really fit in here with the colour scheme. Also, I tried to decorate for Christmas. Wait, let me turn the light off so you can see. Okay, so I put up it looks so shit. I put up this like these fairy lights, thinking they would go all over this window. They're like little, oh, you can't see, but they're little Christmas trees. Thinking it would wrap around the whole window. Clearly not. So now I'm just debating whether I should even keep it up because it just looks so sad. Or if I should just buy another one. I don't know. I have to think. I tried. I also bought a mini fake Christmas tree that's over there. I've not actually put it up, as you can see. I'm not sure when I'll do that, but probably the next few days. My friend's about to arrive in about 20-ish minutes. I'm not sure what movie we'll watch. I've got a few in mind. I'll update you tonight on the movie and book situation. I'll see if I can read a bit more tonight. I really want to finish Into the Wild. So hopefully we can do that tonight. Bye. I'm back in bed with my hot water bottle. I came here to end the vlog. Secondly, tell you that I just watched Smile, the horror movie. It was actually really good. If you don't mind jump scares, that is. But jump scares still really get me, no matter how many horror movies I watch. It's great, highly recommend. And thirdly, I just finished Into the Wild. I think I kind of not misspoke, maybe. I didn't express my thoughts properly earlier when I was speaking about this. Because I was complaining about how dry it felt, but I don't think that's what I meant necessarily. I think my problem, it's not even a problem, but I expected, or I thought from what I heard about this book, it was going to be a lot more nature writing and a lot more about Alaska itself. Obviously there's a lot of Alaska in this, a lot of talk about Alaska, and he's talking a lot about people that have travelled Alaska. I just thought it was going to be more, nature writing, which it was to an extent, but it was more so about Chris McCandless. I think his name was McCandless. In my head, whenever I read it, I always thought of a candle, so I always called him McCandles. But that's just not what it is. I'm pretty sure it's Chris McCandless, and I'm sure I could also very easily find this out if I just YouTubed it. But it's 11 o'clock at night. I'm not going to do that. I'm tired. Nonetheless, like I said earlier, it's a very interesting story. I want to say it's like a character analyzation by someone, well, by a stranger essentially. John Krakauer never actually met Chris McCandless, just his parents and friends and family and acquaintances. From that point of view, I do think it is interesting, but yeah, maybe just not what I expected, but that's fine. I'm sure the next book will be a hit. On that note, thank you as always for watching. As you can see, I am very much ready for bed. So thank you and good night.